lot of men over 60 have this quiet belief sitting in the back of their minds that the days of making a woman moan are behind them, that the body they have now at this age, with everything that has changed, can't produce that response in a woman anymore. And I want to say directly, before we go anywhere, that belief is wrong. Completely wrong. And I'm going to make a separate video on this channel specifically about how to make your woman respond that way, even if erection is an issue. So watch for that one. But today is about something different, something more important for right now. Today is about what her moans are actually telling you. Because here is the thing that most men, and I mean most men at any age, have never been told. When a woman moans during sex, most men receive it as a single signal, one message. Yes, keep going, you're doing great. And they run with that. They keep doing what they're doing, maybe a little more of it, feeling like they've cracked the code. But a moan is not one thing. It is a language. And like any language, it has different words, different meanings, different things it's trying to communicate. And a man who can't tell the difference between those words is a man who is flying completely blind in the most important moment of the encounter. You see, some moans are real. Some are performance. Some are navigation. And some, and this is the one I really need you to hear, some are pain. And the reason that one is so important is that it can sound similar to the real one if you're not paying attention to the right things. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to read all of them. And when you can read them, when her sounds stop being background noise and start being a live map of exactly what's happening for her, everything about how you move through intimacy changes. I'm going to take you through each one, and I'll tell you up front, the last one I get to is the one that changes everything about how you use this in real time. So stay with me through all of it. It builds. I'm Dr. Valerie Hayes. Every week on this channel, I have the honest, raw, practical conversations about sex for men over 50 that most people won't go near. Hit subscribe right now and come with me on this one. All right. Let's start with the one men know best, or think they know best, because actually, this is where most men are already getting something slightly wrong, and once you hear what I'm about to say, you'll understand why. The real moan. The real moan is the one that surprises even her. She doesn't plan it, she doesn't decide to make it, it comes out of her before she could stop it, even if she wanted to. That is the first thing that distinguishes it from everything else. It has no beginning she chose. It starts with a sharp intake of breath, sometimes just that, the breath, before the sound even comes. And when the sound comes, it comes from somewhere lower than the throat, not performed from the chest, from somewhere deeper. And it rises. It doesn't start at full volume and stay there. It begins quieter and builds with what he's doing. And here's the thing about the real moan that most men miss. The sound is only part of it. The body tells you the same story simultaneously. Her hips move toward the pressure, not away from it. Her hands grip his arm, the sheets, whatever is near, not in a posed way, but because her hands needed something to hold. Her breathing changes in a way she cannot regulate. It becomes uneven, faster, shallow in a specific way that is completely different from the controlled breathing of a woman who is present but not yet fully arrived. When you are hearing and feeling all of that at the same time, that is the real moan. And what it is telling you is simple. You are in the right place, doing the right thing. Her body has found something, and it is responding to it. Now here is the single most important instruction I'm going to give you about this one. When it happens, do not change what you're doing. I know that sounds obvious, but the number of times women have described a man hitting exactly the right spot, getting the real moan, and then changing it, adding something, switching position, deciding to try a different angle because he wanted to build on the success. And everything reset. The moan stopped, and she had to start over from somewhere behind where she was. When the real moan happens, your job is to protect what produced it. Stay exactly where you are, do exactly what you were doing, maybe slightly more of it, but do not change the formula that just worked. Her body is not looking for variety in that moment. It is looking for consistency. Give it that. Okay, now that you understand the real one, here's where it gets more interesting. Because the next moan is the one most men confuse for the real one, and it's actually telling you something completely different. The performance moan. And I want to say this with the warmth it deserves because this is not about deception. Women don't perform to be cruel. They perform because they care about how he feels, because they want the encounter to be good for him, even when it isn't fully good for them, and sometimes because they want to move things along. But the performance moan is telling a man something he needs to hear. Here is what usually produces it. He's been doing something for a while, and it's not quite working for her. She's tried shifting, tried responding differently, tried the small signals that women give when something isn't landing, and those signals weren't read. So she reaches for the signal she knows he responds to, the moan, the one he receives as success, and she produces it. And here is the thing about the performance moan that distinguishes it. It sounds more dramatic than the real one. I need you to sit with that for a second. The performance moan is louder, more theatrical, more consistently at a high volume rather than building from somewhere quieter. It has the shape of a movie moan because that's the template most women absorbed for what this is supposed to sound like. And it starts quickly, without the intake of breath that precedes the real one, because she chose it rather than it choosing her. The body underneath it tells the opposite story. She is relatively still. Her hips are not moving toward him. Her hands are not gripping. The breathing doesn't match the intensity of the sound. She is producing a big sound while her body is doing very little. And the rhythm of the moan follows his movements in a mechanical way. Every time he moves, she responds. Which sounds right, but isn't, because the real moan doesn't follow a schedule. It comes when her body arrives at something, not on the beat of his actions. Now, when you recognize the performance moan, the question is, what do you do with it? And the answer is, you don't call it out. You don't stop and make it a conversation. You simply adjust. Change what you're doing. Slow down. Move somewhere else. Try something different. Go back to your hands. Go back to your mouth. Take the focus off the thing that wasn't working and start looking for what does. Because that moan was telling you, this route isn't getting us there. Find a different one. And when you find it, when the sound changes quality, when it gets quieter and more involuntary, when the breath changes, you'll know you found it. All right, those two you've heard of in some form, but the next one, most men have never had anyone name it for them, and it is the most important one to be able to recognize. The pain or discomfort moan. Some women moan when something hurts, not loudly, not dramatically, in a way that can sound, if you are only listening to the surface of it, somewhat like the real moan. And that similarity is exactly why this one is so important. Why would she make a sound of pleasure when she's in discomfort? Because the alternative is stopping and explaining and having the conversation that feels too difficult in the moment. Because she doesn't want to make him feel like he did something wrong. Because she hopes if she rides it out, it'll pass. Because women have been taught for a very long time to accommodate rather than correct. So she makes a sound he can interpret as positive, even though her body is telling a completely different story. And he keeps going, thinking he's doing well, while she's bracing. This happens more than men realize. After menopause, vaginal tissue is more sensitive and drier. Certain angles cause pressure on the cervix that is genuinely painful. What felt fine last month may not feel fine this month. Her body changes. And if the channel of communication between them isn't open enough for her to say that in the moment, the discomfort moan is what fills the gap. So how do you tell it from the real one? The sound. The pain moan often has a caught quality to it, like the breath is being held before it. A tenseness in it that the real moan doesn't have. It can sound sharp in a way that is slightly different from the sharpness of real pleasure. There is something clipped about it. But more than the sound, the body. She is moving away from the pressure, not toward it. Subtly, maybe. She may be trying not to show it, but away. Her body is tensing in a bracing way rather than opening. Her hands are flat or slightly pulling back rather than gripping toward him. And her face, if you are actually looking at her face, which I hope you are, is doing something different. The real moan produces a specific quality of expression. The discomfort moan produces something slightly pained, even when she's trying not to show it. A small tightening around the eyes, a quality to the set of the jaw that is bracing rather than releasing. When you recognize this, and you have to be looking to recognize it, you slow down. You don't make it a big moment. You don't ask, "Did I hurt you?" in a way that makes her feel like the situation has become clinical. You ask something warm, something that keeps the encounter alive, while creating the space for her to guide you. "Does this feel good, or should I do something different?" Said quietly, said warmly, said as an invitation, not an interrogation. That question tells her something. It tells her you're paying attention, that you're in the room with her, not just in the room near her. And a woman who feels genuinely paid attention to, who feels her body being read rather than used, will tell you what she needs. And when you adjust to what she tells you, you become the man whose hands and attention she trusts completely. Now, those are the three main types. But there's a fourth way moans work that I haven't talked about yet. And this one is the one that makes everything else practical. This is the real-time map I promised you at the beginning, the navigation moan. Women navigate during sex without always knowing that's what they're doing. Their body is trying to guide him. The sounds are part of that guidance. And a man who learns to read this in real time has something that changes the entire experience for both of them. The building moan. This is when the sound gets louder, more sustained, more consistent as he continues in a specific direction. Not a sudden moan, a growing one. Her body is saying, "More of this, don't leave here. You're on the right track, and if you stay here, something is building." The correct response to the building moan is to stay, not to do more of something else, not to add an element, to protect what is building and let it build. The man who rides a building moan all the way to its destination, who doesn't switch, doesn't add, doesn't change the formula at the wrong moment, is the man who gives her the orgasm she didn't know if she was going to get. The interrupted moan. This is when a sound stops because he changed something. She was producing a sound, he moved or switched, and the sound cut off. Most men interpret that silence as neutral. Nothing happening, let me try something else. But that silence is direct feedback. Her body is saying, go back to what you were just doing. That was working. When a sound stops because you changed something, go back. It really is that simple. Her body told you something and then confirmed it by going quiet when you took it away. Listen to both messages. The searching moan, a quieter, more unsettled sound. Not building, not dramatic, not a clear yes, but also not discomfort. Her body is responding to something but hasn't found the exact thing yet. She's close. Stay in the same general area, vary slightly, pressure, angle, pace, and listen for when that searching sound starts to become a building sound. That is the moment you found it. Now stay. Real talk. If you've been having sex for 40 years and nobody has ever laid this out for you this clearly, that's not on you. This information doesn't exist in most places. This channel is where it lives. Hit subscribe so you never miss a week of it, and share this with a man who needs it. Let's finish. All right, now let's talk about how to actually use all of this in the moment, because information without application is just interesting. What you want is to be in the room and reading her in real time. The first thing, stop listening only to the sound and start reading the whole body simultaneously. Sound plus body language together is the complete signal. Sound alone is incomplete. A woman's body never fully lies even when her sounds are managing the situation. Her hands, her hips, her breathing, the quality of tension or release in her muscles, all of that is running at the same time as whatever sound she's making. When the sound and the body match, real moan. When they contradict each other, performance or pain. Learn to read both channels at once. The second thing, slow down enough to actually read it. Most of the time when men miss these signals, it's because they're moving too fast, too urgently, too focused on their own experience to be genuinely observant. Slowing down doesn't mean losing intensity. It means being present enough to actually be in the room with her, rather than in the room near her. The third thing, look at her face, genuinely. This feels vulnerable for some men, holding eye contact during intimacy, seeing her expression, being seen seeing her. But the face tells you things that sound and body cannot always convey alone. The real moan produces a specific quality of expression, a kind of released, arrived quality that is unmistakable when you've seen it. The performance moan produces something more controlled. The pain moan produces something that tries to look like pleasure, but has a tightness in it you can feel if you're looking. Be in her face. It's where the most honest information lives. And the fourth thing, create safety for her to guide you. The simple, warm question when you're not sure, does this feel good or should I try something different? Asked mid-encounter without turning it into a pause or a production. Said like you're asking because you genuinely want to know, not because you're worried you've done something wrong. That question, asked with warmth, asked without making a moment of it, opens a channel between you that most couples never have. And what she tells you through that channel makes you the most attentive lover she's ever had, because most men never asked. Let me pull it all together before I close. The real moan, involuntary, starts with breath, builds from somewhere deep. The body is moving toward him. Stay exactly where you are. Protect what's working. The performance moan, louder and more theatrical than the real one. Consistent volume rather than building. The body is relatively still. The rhythm is mechanical. It's telling you to adjust, change something, find a different route. The pain moan, caught quality, tension in it, body moving away, not toward, face tightening even when she's trying not to show it. Slow down, ask warmly, adjust to what she tells you. The navigation moans, building means stay, interrupted means go back, Searching means you're close but not quite there yet. And all of them read together through sound, body, and face simultaneously. That is the map. Her body has been producing it every time you've been intimate. The difference now is that you know how to read it. Now, I talk about a lot of things on this channel within what the platform allows, but there are things I can't say here the way they need to be said. The specific, explicit details of what to do when you're reading each of these moans in real time, the exact adjustments, the technique level detail that takes this from understanding to mastery. That conversation lives in my newsletter, unfiltered, no algorithm looking over my shoulder, no careful language to avoid a restriction, just exactly what I know, said exactly as it should be said. Every week. Free. The link is right below this video. If you want the complete version of everything I've been building on this channel, the newsletter is where it lives. Drop a comment below. Has this changed how you're going to listen the next time? Or is there a moment you're now realizing you misread? Tell me below. I read every one. I'll see you next week. Take good care.